that moment, when you believe you cannot take it anymore, that's when you actually change. Just finished my writing. I do 12 pages a day, no matter what. It has been like this since August last year. And since the end of January this year, I also started to do some voice recordings on my phone. And I found that I've been doing this last thing in the evening before going to bed. And I found that some days I was feeling really tired and sleepy, and it was really hard to do it. So my idea was to just get out of the house, go for a walk. It started with walks. I would just get out, record while I was walking. So I've done the writing. I'm gonna do that now. And then when I come back, I'm gonna be refreshed from that. And I'm gonna make another video about today and some things I want to share. Not too long because it's close to midnight and it's time to go to bed soon. All right, just arrived. So I'm gonna be telling you a little bit about my day. Woke up 6, did my writing. I grabbed my son and went to the studio, which is at my parents' house, about 15-minute drive from here. I spent some time with him, and then I started to work on music. My mother, today is bank holiday here actually, and so it was good because she could spend a lot of time with my son while I was working. So we have that benefit. That was another reason why we wanted to come here. As soon as, actually, we decided to come to Portugal before we decided to have our son, but everything combined together, and that's one of the reasons why we wanted to be here, is because of this kind of support that we have. It's best for him and for us as parents as well, because it, you know, when you're taking care of a child 24 hours a day, especially the first few months, even now, I mean, they're pretty demanding, and to have those extra hands is really good for everybody. My mother loves him as well, like she really enjoys being with him, so that's another plus. So I spent the whole afternoon in the studio. That's what I did, and this made me realize like how far I've come in what I'm doing, and with a lot of effort that I've put into creating not only the life that I have now, but mainly who I am becoming now. Because as I read some things that I have on old notebooks, and I see like page after page my frustration of feeling stuck day after day, not being able to change myself, being addicted to weed, being addicted to porn, feeling like shit, the music not working. It's still not working commercially, but at least I'm really content with what I'm doing now. So this work that I've done on myself over the years to where I am today, doing this challenge and looking at my life and being like, wow, I'm pretty satisfied with how things are now. And if I really had just this 1 week to live, I'm sure there would be a few things that I would have done differently. But in terms of generally speaking, my whole life as it is now, like, I'm pretty content. But it wasn't easy. Let me say this again. It was hell, some years. Anyway, like, I live by the beach, something that I really wanted. I go to the beach pretty much every day. I spend time with my son. I work on the music that I love making, that I have such passion for, and that I see such a big purpose to make. Like, what else do I want? Yeah, that's quite nice to realize, I gotta say. Another point that I want to speak about, which is just what I was recording on my cycle now, is the point of taking the moments when, let's say you're changing a behavior. Let's say you smoke cigarettes and you want to stop smoke cigarettes, and you stop for 1 day, 2 days, 3 days. But then that urge, I used to smoke cigarettes, that urge of just wanting to smoke something, that anxiety you just feel like you cannot stop the thoughts, you just have to have a fucking cigarette. Like, in that moment, when you believe you cannot take it anymore, that is the moment where you can take that and and stand. And in that, you will become much stronger. That's when you actually change. That's when you actually stop smoking cigarettes. It's not the first day, it's not the first hour. It's all the other moments afterwards where you just feel you have to have a cigarette and you say, no, this is not the best thing for me. I've decided to stop and I'm gonna stick to this. I'm gonna stop thinking about this. I do not allow myself to smoke a cigarette. And take that moment, that opportunity to strengthen your resolve. Like with social media, for me as well, specifically now, what's happening is because I want to create these things, and I know that sometimes I'm on my phone and I'm not really doing anything. I'm just being consumed by it. Instead of being producing, I'm consuming whatever, Instagram, Twitter, reading things, looking at photos, what's happening in other people's lives, but without any purpose, without any reason, without any direction. And to take that moment of like, fuck, I'm doing this, no, stop, immediately, and repeat that time after time. And I'm becoming quicker at spotting when I'm going into that, looking for that high, that positive kick that you get from grabbing your phone and looking at it and seeing what's happening in the world and making yourself believe that you're becoming somewhat informed and enlightened, and as if you're making any change in the world by knowing all these things which are always the same bullshit. And nothing really changes. The picture changes, the names change, but it's still terrible. So what can I do with my life, with myself? That's the question. I mean, I'm not saying you should not be informed. I'm not saying you should not look at Twitter or Instagram or Facebook. I mean, do it, but do it with an intent. Like, I'm doing this now, and once I'm done with this, I'm directing myself. That's the point that I want to make. All right, more tomorrow.